LPT. Even if you are happily employed, spend 30 to 45 minutes job searching a few times per year. LPT. Most people stop looking at other options once they get a job they're content with. Even if you are happy, content at your current job, you may find that you are being underpaid or underutilized for your skill set. You might find that you are more thankful for the job you do have after seeing what is out there, which will make you happier at work. You may also find yourself needing another job sooner than expected, so it's a good idea to know what is going on in the market and not be left feeling totally shocked and unprepared if you are unhappy at your job, or just stuck in a rut. Seeing what else is out there might motivate you to make a much-needed change. Not all jobs are going to be fun, but life is too short to work a job you truly dread. Going to online job postings are everywhere. LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Craigslist, Indeed, and are a few that come mind that can be browsed casually while watching Netflix, etc. Asterisk bonus tip. If you have a work computer or phone, don't use it to browse or apply for other jobs. Always assume someone has access to your device.
I just finished third-round interviews for a job that sounds better, has more opportunities, better benefits, and at a 20K raise. I'm pretty sure I've got the job, if they don't cheap out. I applied on a whim because I had a bad day at work, and the excitement of hoping they call back to offer the job has made me realize how much I dislike my current. Also a pretty good confidence booster to see what people are willing to pay you. Even if you don't take there's a little bit of an unknown, but the benefit of shopping around while you're employed means you have the luxury of saying no if something seems off.
I agree with this LPT, except 30 to 45 minutes is such an oddly specific amount of time to spend job searching.
It's also good to take interviews just for the practice. If you find yourself suddenly unemployed, it's good to know that your current resume can get you interviews and that you're not so rusty when it comes to the interview process as well.
Best thing I did was keep my resume up to date on websites like Indeed. Ended up getting an offer 10K more than I was making and leveraged it to get more money and the ability to telework in perpetuity. Squeaky wheels get the tip, smiley face.
Good call. I'll add, do the same for housing if you're a renter. Never know when something amazing will pop up, or when your current housing situation will turn shaky. Nice to know what options are out there if the time on to spouses. Make sure to log on to dating apps at least 30 minutes a day, even when married. You never know when. Kidding.
Mostly related, I got an email from a recruiter, was bored with my work and looking for a new large project. I'm an engineer. I was happy at my job, interesting and challenging work, but I was in a lull. The job looked interesting, so I decided to up getting the job at a 45% pay raise, then another 20% at my first performance review. I went from one small company to another, so it wasn't a matter of a big dog outbidding the little guy. The people are generally more open-minded to ideas, and to that email was the best professional decision I've made.
I look at job postings on a weekly basis because it allows me to get familiar with companies relevant to me in my area. Asterisk, it allows me to get an idea of what they're looking for. Asterisk, it allows me to notice fishy, such as companies that post the same job every couple of got a folder full of past job postings, and as soon as I'll need to start looking for another job, I've got a head start.
Also, just to know that you could get a different job makes your current one a lot more enjoyable. You'll be more confident in being yourself, speaking your mind, just contributing in general, because you won't be so stressed about making mistakes or annoying the wrong person. You can stand your ground more to your boss, confidently ask for a raise when inflation goes through the roof. It's just always good to know you have options in life.
I absolutely agree with this LPT. I worked at the same company in 2 different roles for a total of 18 years, and then I got fired, not getting into that. The job market was completely different in my late 30s than it had been in my early 20s. It was incredibly overwhelming to try to figure out what kind of job I could even look for with my skill set and personal limitations. I ended up going back to school to learn a more relevant skill set, because there was just nothing out there that worked for me. Definitely do some looking to know what's out.
It's tough though, because just looking at job listings doesn't give you a great idea of what working at that place would be like every day, good or bad. You as an outsider have no way of knowing that, unless maybe you know someone who works there who you can ask.
Further tip, make a relationship with it. They can seem like sales folk, like realtors, and you wonder what value they provide, but they have knowledge. They are in the market every day, all day. They are talking to employers every day. They know who's hiring, what they're hiring for, and how much they're a professional friendship with one that knows your area and industry. They'll be a great source of information.
One upvote and I'll look for a new job.
On LinkedIn, every single job opening in my field immediately says there are 300 other applicants and I get discouraged. Does everyone see this? Is it BS?
I turn my truck keys in tomorrow and start a job that's 2 minutes from my house, no weekends and no overtime. Compared to my current hour-to-hour home drive that has weekends and overtime. Just a change that's needed. Employers taking advantage of people.
I made third-round interviews, but the HR refused to match my current pay, which was $2,000 more than the starting rate. Their excuse was that they were hiring everyone for this position at the same rate. I was well within my means to ask for more with my experience, but I really just want out of my current position and want better seekers market might.
Yeah, but I work 25 hours a week so don't have time for job searching.
Ha ha ha, fair point. I was trying to pick an amount of time that wouldn't seem too imposing. Should have left it more open-ended.
I've done this. I take an interview every 6 months or so. The problem is both times I interviewed I was offered a position, which is a nice feeling, but I feel like an knowing they don't, I do. That I wasn't going to take the job and I likely delayed the next guy up getting the job.
That's awesome. Good work. Leverage is the keyword here and you nailed it. Ha 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 ha. I was going to add a disclaimer that this is a good idea for most things in life except for a successful marriage.
Try using the Google plugin Teal that lets you save jobs across platforms. And will hard copy the descriptions. It's pretty handy.
Okay, thanks.
I'm on the receiving end of this. I'd say about 50% of the applications are people submitting their CV without even having read the job description or knowing what it is. 30% are outright spam, 10% are not qualified and taking a punt, and the remaining 10% are worth taking a look at. When I get 300 applications, the first sift through to get it down to 30 takes me about 20 minutes, max. The remaining 30 take days.
I've been across many recruitment processes and a lot of job applications are from people who have next to zero relevant work experience. It's so easy to just spam or go scattergun with next to no effort.
You have no idea how frustrating this is for hiring managers. We spend literally hundreds of hours writing the requisition, poring over resumes, interviewing, having internal meetings about interviews, working with HR to have them do their job and actually communicate with the candidates, only for HR to come back with an offer letter so hilariously outside of current market conditions that the candidates laughs us out of the meeting. And then, we get dinged for not staffing sufficiently for our projects, and told we need to do better next year, or else. And our existing team is told to work harder, and do more with less. And then, when the team comes back with superb performance, we as managers have to go to them, hat in hand and say, "Congrats on your 3% raise."
Oh, that's fine. Just walk in somewhere and give the boss a firm handshake and your resume. He'll hire you on the spot. Takes like 5 seconds.
Isn't 25 hours a week is just a little more than part-time?
You probably don't delay that much. When I hire people, I have a top 3. If the first person says no, I just call the next person. If you turn it down by the end of the same business day, you really haven't delayed their second choice candidate from getting an offer. Nothing to feel guilty about.
The reason to not feel guilty is that you're not doing anything wrong. The interview isn't just about you convincing the company to hire you, but also the company convincing you to work there. This often gets minimized because usually the job seeker is more desperate than the company, but in your case you're not. They just didn't sufficiently convince you that the new job would be worth you leaving your old one. If they made a compelling enough offer, you probably would have been willing to take it.
You shouldn't feel guilty. Employers have no conscience either.
I never lived in a world where people retired at a job after 35 plus years of faithful service, but it sounds like a nice thought. Unfortunately, that world doesn't exist anymore, so I don't see any reason to feel like an by having the conversations, taking interviews and seeing what is out there. You staying at your current job just means they didn't make a strong enough offer to get you to leave. Also, if they only have one candidate in the hopper, that's their own issue. If there's a next guy in line, who's to say he will take the job?
Kudos to you for actually doing it and not fobbing that off to a machine.
Yep, I recently was hiring for a position at a smaller, less known company in a niche field, and I had 60 plus applicants in just a few days, but only 10 to 15 were even remotely qualified.
Oh ho ho, 3%. If you work really hard, you can get the maximum 5%. Or if you're friends with the reason I've had 10 plus jobs so far, as I would reply with, well, this other job pays 20% more, and they, for some reason, always call my bluff. I guess it worked out for me in the end, lol, Sue,
I figured they were making an anti-work joke.
Worst case, you waste everyone's time. Best case, you actually like their offer and take. Ended up where I actually put in notice at my current job only to have them hand me a bag of cash in order to stay.
The place I work for is a small-ish family-owned business, with less than 50 employees. The owners are some of the nicest people I've ever met who seem to genuinely care about their employees. They give everyone so much flexibility and typically promote from within. They are also willing to let someone that feels confident doing a job they have no educational background and give it a shot, because they know many people are self-taught or just smart and can pick things over. The past 2 years have learned that at the end of the day, the owner is a capitalist. Nothing wrong with that. And will always put the business before any single employee. I don't blame him. I've agreed with every layoff he has made because the business was in. Taught me that all businesses, no matter how moral the owners are, will always choose the business over the employees. And I agree with it when it comes down to saving 5 jobs versus the entire company. Anyway, what I mean to say is there is a clear distinction between people as human beings and people as doing their job. You shouldn't feel bad because it's nothing personal, and I guarantee you the business will carry on and forgot about you entirely within a week or 2. You mentioned that you also felt bad about possibly delaying someone else from getting the job. I do not argue there. At the end of the day, in order to be happy and be a better human, you must first take care of yourself.